Hello, I am Kirk of Kirk Makes Things, and today I'll be showing you how to install your hatch popper kit. First, we'll go over what's actually included with the kit. You've got your QR code and your templates. You've got your pull strap along with the spacer and bolt. You've got the hatch popper itself. You have the cable that makes it all work along with the retaining clip. If you're an international customer, I'll include multiples of these just in case they get damaged in shipping. You've got the optional drill bit. If you buy the one with the kit, you'll get this one, which goes from all the way from 5 to 35 millimeters. If you choose to go to Harbor Freight and grab one, it'll go all the way from 1/4 inch to 1 3/8 inches. Then you've got the stuff that you need to provide yourself that I do not include with the kit. You need a slotted screwdriver, a 10 millimeter wrench, some type of scissors. These angled ones are my suggestion. You'll need a 4 millimeter Allen key, a trim pry tool like this one, and an electric drill. I would not recommend doing it without it. Some other optional things that are optional but highly recommended is some nice duct tape and a large flat work surface that is not your tailgate. Now that you've seen everything, and you know that you have everything, let's get to work. So for our very first step, you're going to need your slotted screwdriver, and we're going to be removing this little guy right here. This is quite a funky fastener, and you have to just very lightly unscrew it while putting no pressure on the fastener itself. And you should be able to just pull the whole thing out like that. Don't lose this because I don't know where to get replacements. Set that aside. And then for this guy, you can simply reach up to the top, get your fingers in, and it should pull right out, and just set that aside with your clip. All right, now that you've gotten those two guys out of there, you're going to grab your trim prying tool. And how hard this is for you entirely depends on how many times your trim piece has been removed and how old your element is. My element is pretty old and it's been off a lot, so mine's going to come off easily. Yours will be much harder, but I'm going to try and show you the process anyway and just work through it. Try not to get frustrated. Don't force anything. So you get your tool, and you usually want to start right around here. Use the really thin end and just try to get it in there like that, and then you pull down and it should start to pop off like that. And you can just go around, get in everywhere, and like I said, it'll pop off. Don't get frustrated. You can go in from pretty much any direction. Just be mindful of your two defroster cables here and here. Aside from that, you can just kind of go hog wild. Do not use a metal pry tool, only use a plastic one. If you want to buy some of these, just Harbor Freight has them. If not, I'll have some links in the description for where you can get these tools online. So now that's done, we can move on to getting the cable into place. All right, so our next item on the list is to get this cable installed. First thing is to just unwind it, just pull that through, and the whole thing should kind of just spring open like that. One thing to check is that this guy right here is on the end with the ball. If it's on the end with the cylinder, it's not going to work right. So just check that. I usually get it right, but it's always good to check me. And now it's time for the hardest part to show on camera, but one of the easiest parts to actually do. Our target is this blue guy right here, and this little lever right there. First off, get 2 fingers up over this guy and then just pull straight down, and it should pop out just like that. Swing the cable over, and then maneuver that cylinder out of its home. Put the cable there. Get your new cable with the little mount on the end. Come through this hole right here, and then you can see how this goes right over that. You take your ball, put it through there, and now you just put your original cable back in its home. And clip it right back into place. There you go. Now you've got the place where both cables can pull on that lever and we can move on. All right, now it's time to install our spacer. We're going to take this guy right here, and it should just unscrew like that from your pull. Set the pull aside for now. Grab your 10mm wrench and undo this guy right here. You'll have one on either side, and then one that's on the bottom of the hatch facing towards you. It will look like these though, it'll be gold. I've just long since lost my original gold one. Loosen it, undo it, toss it into your extra screw bin for evermore. Take your spacer, and it should just thread right in. Should go in finger tight for a while, and eventually you can take your wrench and just tighten it down. And that's that part done. Are you ready to drill a hole? That was a trick question because the answer is no. First you have to do some trimming. The hard part, of course, is knowing where to trim. And to do that, you're going to pull out your little baggie and you're going to get out your 2 jigs. You're going to have A and you're going to have B. And these will tell us exactly where we need to drill everything. You want to set this up so the hump is facing away from you. We've got this hole and this guy facing towards you because you don't want to do this in the wrong spot or you're going to have a bad time. Take A, you'll see 1, 2, 3, this triangle. A goes right here on that part of the triangle, and then just to the right of it, B will go right there. So now you can see the space we're going to need to clear. To do that, you just grab your scissors, come right on this side of this rib, and just cut through this fabric. You can use a knife, but a lot of this fabric has just, like, as you can see, turned to dust. And so I wouldn't recommend using a knife. You're going to do it where A goes as well, right here. And then this piece should just kind of pop out, and that, my friend, goes in the trash. So now we're done cutting. You can blow some of this dust off. And next is where you can use your tape if you so choose. You don't have to. This can just hang out here. But you can also take some of your tape and just tape down the edge of this. Just so, I don't know, it looks a bit nicer, I guess. I like to do it. And now is the fun part. First thing you're going to do is actually take your 2 jigs, take your drill with your chosen drill bit. For the video, I'm going to be using the one that's actually included with the kit to show you the performance you can expect out of it. And first, just take your jigs, just run the bit through, just to make sure it's going to go through nice and easy. You don't want any surprises. So now you've got your 2 jigs. We'll start with B. Put it right here. Make sure you got 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should fit snugly right down there in that little crevice. And I'll zoom in for this next part for you. So we've got B in. All right, time to try this again. My phone overheated right before I started drilling these last time, and I did complete drilling them. So if you notice it looks kind of funky, it's because I had to patch the holes I just drilled. So I can now show you how to do it. So, where were we? We're going to take this, with this jig right here, you want to make sure it's exactly in this spot. Because if it moves up here or over here, you're not going to have the hole in the right spot, and it just isn't going to work right. So grab your drill, and first you want to just mark. Just drill enough to put a dent into the plastic. That way you can guide the bit from there. You can go ahead and do this side as well. Hold this right up against that and drill just enough so you can see exactly where you're going to be drilling. All right, we're going to drill the small hole first. If you're using the included bit, you're going to go down 3 steps. If you're using the Harbor Freight bit, you're just going to go down 2 steps. And the way you want to do this is you want to drill most of the way through when you hit the 3rd step, and then turn it around and do it from the other side. And I'll show you that here. Get this in place. So now I'm most of the way through, so I can flip this over and just finish it off from this side. So now we'll have a nice clean hole. Now for this bigger one, on both the included bit and the Harbor Freight bit, you're just going to go full ham, go all the way through. And once again, when you get to the very end, you want to flip it around and then just keep going until it punches all the way. So now you've got your 2 holes. You can use the very edge of the bit. Just clean up the edge of that hole, same over here. So you can see we've got our 2 holes. Mine looks a bit funky since I essentially drilled the holes twice, but you get the idea. Before we put this back on now, we want to take a minute and make sure all of our clips are here. So you can see we've got one here, here, just back up. We've got there, 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 and there. Once you know all the clips are on, we can start thinking about putting this back in. Just do a double check, make sure you've got your cable hanging down, you've got your spacer nice and secured, and that everything looks proper up in there. Let me get everything together and I'll show you the final steps of the installation. All right, now we're nearing the end, and the last thing to do is install this. First thing you're going to do is take this bezel, unscrew it, and set it within arm's reach. Next, you're going to push the button in, revealing this little track right here. You take your cable, you're going to put it right in there, and then let it pull back in. You're going to pull the cable back, push this right in there till it snaps in nice and tight. Check that it works, push your button. You should see the whole mechanism actuate. Now, the big step, you take your whole bezel, you push this through your big hole, turn this around so you can actually see. While that's poking through, you grab the bezel and just screw it on. Now when you look at it from the back, it should be facing more or less like this. Now you're going to take the whole thing, lift it up, you're going to take your cable, tuck it up into that slot. Make sure everything looks lined up. You're mainly going to look at this hole up here, this hole right here, and you should be able to just push the whole bezel back into place. Once you've done that, it's time to do your strap. You take it with the bolt through it, put your Allen key in, and you should see your spacer right there, where you can just screw right into it. Make sure it's facing into the element. It's always people's intuition to face it downwards, but you really want to be pulling it from the inside. Easy things. You take this little guy, a little hole should be facing upwards, and it just slots right back in. And you take this weird fastener you removed earlier, push it into the hole, and then you can just push that back in. And now you're done.